2 or 3 years out of these guys. In Sam Darnold's case, 7 years, but at least 2 or 3.
Sam Darnold, the most emotional Twitter video during the season we've seen all year. Sam Darnold coming back late to the Vikings locker room, and it turned into like a sports movie scene. Yeah. I was waiting for explosions in the sky to play in the background. Playoff picture, and we'll talk about. There's so much shit to go through, but
I feel naked not knowing the schedule. You and I love the playoff schedule, right?
Well, I want to guess this.
We love the week 18, and we're like 7-year-olds waiting for Santa to come down the chimney. I keep refreshing. I don't see anything. I see the Jimmy Carter Jake Paul fight is rescheduled, but I don't see anything on week 18 yet. This is terrible.
We're on this text thread with our cousin and a whole bunch of people, and anytime a super old celebrity dies, it's always like, what was the cause of death? And we do. Yeah. Jimmy Carter, my favorite president, by the way, but anytime it's 100, like, what was the cause of death? Yeah. Anyway, NFC playoff picture, Washington is at least the 7th seed, right? Mm-hmm. Possibility they can sneak into 6th seed, but Green Bay would have to lose to Chicago. But we're looking at 2 seed Philly versus 7 seed Washington, which I'm not happy about if I'm Washington. Mm-hmm. 3-6 is Rams Green Bay. I'm super happy if I'm Green Bay playing the Rams, the way their offenses look. 4-5 would be Tampa, Minnesota, which is an awesome game. Or at Atlanta, Minnesota, if something funky happens in week 18. Right. AFC, it looks like we're going to have Buffalo versus Denver, unless Denver completely chokes against Carson Wentz, and we'll go into all those scenarios in a second. Baltimore against the Chargers, and then Houston, Pittsburgh. And I didn't tell you I was going to do this. You're going to be mad, but I already made guesses for the round 1 schedule, and I'm going to throw this at you.
Don't do that yet. Yeah?
No, I'm doing it.
All right. Well, I think not we even agree on the Shakey's game. There's a lot of shaky quarterbacks that belong in the Shakey's game, but I think we're on the same page with that.
Well, we texted about the Shakey's game, which if you haven't seen or listened to our pod before, it's the first game on the Saturday of round 1. Our knockout league that we're in, the loser used to have to buy pizza for everybody else for the first game, and we would do it at Shakey's in Santa Monica, which we made plenty of jokes about. Is it still open or no?
I think they closed it after we stopped going. I think we were probably the only ones
we
there.
were like the last thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, Pittsburgh, Houston is the most. I would say that's like a minus 1,200 favorite to be the Shakey's game. Mm-hmm. With the way Houston's look, with Russell Wilson, I don't see how it's not the Shakey's game.
I'm trying to think who else it would be. All right, you're going to give me all of them? Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, these are my guesses, and you tell me. I'll rip through them. And you tell me.
There's a Monday game in there. You got them all.
You're right.
Good.
So Saturday night is going to be Amazon. Mm-hmm. And I think that's Green Bay Rams, and they keep it in LA. Al Michaels is super happy. It's like a 35-minute drive for him. Amazon in LA. Amazon is in LA. So I was going Green Bay Rams for that. And then Sunday, Denver Buffalo, the Chargers versus Baltimore, and then Washington Philly as the Sunday night game. But you could flip that, and you could make Washington Philly the Fox game with Brady, and then Chargers Ravens Sunday night. Wow. And then my last prediction, Bucks versus the Vikings in Tampa Bay Monday night football.
On Monday? Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Only thing with that is I'm not ready. I'm not. I feel like
I know that's why I didn't prepare. I tell you to prep. I wanted to throw this at you.
Well, here's what could throw it off. I really think the Chargers want that 5 seed now. I think they're going to fight for it. They're in a good spot if they get that 5 seed. Of course, you want to go to Houston now. By the way, if they get by that, I know the Chiefs. We're going to have to praise them. We have to, but that's not a bad deal for Harbaugh. They played him twice. They lost by 2. They lost by 7.
Yep.
What a thing that would be for Harbaugh to go into Kansas City and win. I think that's the ideal spot for the Chargers. So I think that would throw off a little. The only thing I would say about a Saturday night, I think they like an outdoor game there. They had the Chiefs Dolphins. So I'm not sure what that would. I know that doesn't agree with Al's habits, but what would it be?
Well, we got to look out for Al. So Chargers to get the 5 seed, the Chargers would have to beat the Raiders, and Pittsburgh would have to lose to Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Yeah. And that's the path. I was going to do this later, but I'd rather just throw this at you right now. And I know the Ravens aren't going to tank week 18, But if you're the Ravens, just fundamentally looking at this big picture, we're trying to make the Super Bowl. If you're the Ravens, would you rather be the 5 seed or the 3 seed? Because if I'm the 3 seed, I have a home game against almost definitely the Chargers. Unless it's either the Chargers or Pittsburgh home game. And then round 2, I'm going to Buffalo if I'm the 3 seed. I'm going to Buffalo unless Buffalo shockingly loses. If I'm the 5 seed, I play Houston, and I'll be favored and I should beat Houston. And then unless there's an upset, I'm going to KC for round 2, who hasn't played a meaningful game in a month. And if your goal is to make the Super Bowl, we always talk about this. I'd rather catch KC in that round 2 game when they're a little rusty.
Yeah.
So I know Baltimore's going to try to win. I know it's better to be at home, but you could argue it's a better path for them to be the 5 seed.
Well, first of all, we'll go over the lines in a second, but maybe this will clear it up. And there's so much speculation. The Saturday games are out, and there's 2 of them.